Namaste, and a very warm welcome to our channel, my dear friends. Today, we are going to embark on an exciting journey into the world of Hibernate ORM fundamentals. Have you ever wondered how your Java objects can magically talk to your database tables? Well, Hibernate is the answer. In this beginner-friendly tutorial, we will demystify object relational mapping, understand why Hibernate is so popular, and even write some basic code to save our Java objects into a database. By the end of this session, you will have a solid foundation to start building database-driven Java applications. So, grab your virtual pen and paper, and let us begin this wonderful learning experience together. Alright, let us dive into our first core concept. What exactly is Object Relational Mapping, or ORM, and why do we need Hibernate? Imagine you are working with Java objects, like a student object with properties such as name and age. On the other hand, you have a relational database, which stores data in tables with rows and columns. There is a fundamental difference in how these two worlds see data. This difference is called the object relational impedance mismatch. ORM frameworks, like Hibernate, act as a bridge, helping you map your Java objects directly to database tables without writing complex structured query language, SQL, queries manually. Hibernate is one of the most powerful and widely used ORM frameworks in the Java ecosystem, making database interactions much simpler and more intuitive for developers. It handles all the complex database operations behind the scenes, allowing you to focus on your business logic using plain old Java objects. Now that we understand the why, let us look at the how. How does Hibernate know which Java object maps to which database table and column? The magic happens with annotations. Hibernate uses special annotations from the Jakarta Persistence Application Programming Interface (API) to define this mapping. For instance, the @entity annotation marks a Java class as an entity, meaning it corresponds to a table in the database. The @table annotation allows you to specify the exact name of the database table. And most importantly, every entity needs a primary key, which we define using the @id annotation. To tell Hibernate how to generate this primary key automatically, we use @generated_value. Finally, @column helps map specific object fields to database columns. These annotations provide a clear and concise way to describe your object relational mapping directly within your Java code. Excellent! We have mapped our student object now. Let us see how to actually save a student object into our database. This involves a few key steps. First, we need a session factory, which is a heavyweight object responsible for creating session objects. Think of the session factory as a factory that gives us connections to our database. Then, we open a session, which is a lightweight object representing a single unit of work with the database. Inside this session, we start a transaction to ensure our database operations are atomic and consistent. We create our student object and then use session.save to persist it. After saving, we commit the transaction and finally close the session factory. This entire process ensures that our Java object is correctly transformed and stored as a record in our database table. This is the create part of our basic create, read, update, delete, CRUD operations. As beginners, it is natural to encounter a few bumps along the road. Let us discuss some common mistakes and best practices to keep in mind. One frequent mistake is forgetting to start or commit a transaction. Without a transaction, your changes might not be saved to the database. Another common oversight is not closing the session factory or session objects, which can lead to resource leaks. Always remember to put your session factory.close in a finally block. A good practice is to always manage your transactions properly, ensuring data integrity. Also, be aware of proxy objects and lazy loading. Hibernate often fetches related data only when it is explicitly accessed, which can sometimes lead to lazy initialization exception if you try to access it outside of an active session. Understanding these nuances will make your Hibernate journey much smoother. Fantastic work, everyone! We have covered a lot in this short tutorial. We started by understanding what object relational mapping is and why Hibernate is so crucial for Java developers. We then learned how to map our Java objects to database tables using powerful annotations like @entity, @id, and @column. Finally, we walked through a practical example of how to save data into our database using session factory, session, and transaction objects, and discussed some essential best practices and common pitfalls. Remember, practice is key. Try implementing these concepts with your own simple Java application. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting Java tutorials. Keep coding, keep learning, and I will see you in the next video. Jai Hind!